GM everyone. Hello and welcome to another Developers Guild. My name is Mike Pawel, and today I have a very exciting and important topic to cover. Namely, it's all about the upcoming Solana Hackathon. Now, we will talk about the Solana Hackathon Essentials, what to expect, how to prepare for such an important hackathon, and most importantly, how to succeed. Then we will talk about the build station, what it is, what the demo day itself is, why it's important to be part of the demo day in order to gain even more prizes. And we will talk about how to make the hackathon setup, pitching projects, and everything about how Superteam Germany is involved in it and how you can profit from it. And for today's session, I will be welcoming Patricia, who is our Germany lead. For those of you who don't know, I would like to welcome her and introduce you to the stage. Hello.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here. So for those from the audience who don't know who you are, can you give us a small introduction?
Yeah, very happy to. So my name is Patricia. I am based in Berlin and I lead the German super team. And I think super team does not need an introduction in this context. And yeah, very excited to speak more about the hackathon, our build station and demo day in the next 45 minutes or so.
Sounds great. I mean, I think we can directly jump into the presentation that you prepared, and we will go into a relaxed sort of Q&A session between you and me. Like, I would pretend to be a person who does not have much experience, so the audience can don't feel left out or hope to answer all questions regarding the hackathon.
You have to pretend very hard, because I think you are quite the hackathon expert, not only on the organizing side, but also you've participated in a few, right? Quite a bunch.
Exactly. I've done so many from the Ethereum space and Solana, but the Solana hackathons are really something else. So those are more of a venture-thon, as we call it. But why do we call it venture-thon actually? Can you maybe?
Yeah, sure. And this is part of my first slide, but I'm actually very happy to speak about it right now. So I think, as you already mentioned, the main differentiator between Solana hackathons and other hackathons people might know is that this one here is more of a startup competition than a competition to find the developer who writes the best code. Yeah, so it's really about finding the founders of tomorrow. It's about finding people who build businesses, who build ventures with or without the hackathon. Right, so all the winners, or most of the winners that I've seen over the previous hackathons and years, are the ones that are genuinely interested in building up a startup, in raising venture capital for this, in hiring a team, and so on, and a lot less about, writing the best code and then bringing this to a hackathon win and stopping right there. And I think also the structure of the Colosseum hackathon. Maybe people know, but there's 2.5 million US dollars in prize money, which is amazing. But a big part of this is actually investment. It's equity investment in startups that then will become part of the Colosseum accelerator. and Colosseum is the main organizer of the hackathon. And if this is maybe a bit confusing, we can go through the slides, and I'll also share the slide deck afterwards, or maybe we can put it in the show notes if you want, Mike, so people can also download this and really have everything and have all the links ready to have a look.
Yes, I mean, do you want me to share the presentation itself, this one, or just the links that you will be showing?
We can also share the presentation. That's not an issue.
All right. Like, I can directly link the Google Docs as a QR code for people to scan.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. In the meantime, when I set it up,
Awesome.
we can already start.
Awesome. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So am I sharing my screen right now?
Yes, we see the presentation.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So how to win the Cypherpunk Global Hackathon. I've put together a couple of slides, but Mike would really appreciate if anything that is unclear, or maybe if you have a question or so, if you just chime in, right? Here is my first slide. This is basically who we are and what we do. But since I am in the DevGuild, I think we can skip this. Because you are probably very, very well aware what Superteam Germany is, what we do, and how we support builders in hackathons. Okay, I put in this slide because this is quite important. So if you want to participate, or if you are participating in the hackathon, you should have seen or received a similar picture like this. This is automatically generated by Colosseum on their website. And I'm putting it in because sometimes people sign up, they create an account, but then there's an extra step within the Colosseum website where you have to click, I think I'm joining this hackathon or something along these lines. And only then are you officially in, you get all the email communication, you are officially signed up. They see your profile. We as leads for Germany, I see everyone who has signed up for Germany. So just as a little reminder, you must somehow, somewhere get to a stage where you see such an image of yourself, and only then have you fully signed up.
All right, just for a quick interruption, because right now you should on the screen see the whole QR code for this presentation. So for everybody who is watching, if you can scan it in the top left corner, this will lead you directly to the whole pitch deck, the whole presentation that you see right now on the screen, so you can follow on.
Perfect. And also at the very end, in the kind of appendix there, I linked a bunch of useful docs, links, interviews by people a lot smarter than me, who have also spoken about, how to win a hackathon, what the jury is looking out for, etc. So if you have time and are looking for further material to read or to listen to, do check it out. All right, so what is this hackathon about? Colosseum's VC fund is allocating 2.5 million in prizes as well as in equity funding, right? And I think here is what we've briefly spoken about in the introduction. Here lies one of the biggest differences, that the winners, yes, there is some prize money, which basically means it's grants. You get the prizes, you have the money, you can do with it what you want to. But then also Colosseum has 15 slots in their accelerator program. And that means the startups get an investment of 250,000 each, but for equity, right? And here is also, I think, where the difference comes in. This is really a venture discovery platform where Colosseum and their VC arm are really looking for the next investments when it comes to their startup portfolio.
I've also talked to lots of different people who want to participate Solana Hackathon because of this opportunity to accelerate. Now, those 15 slots, is it guaranteed for, let's say, the top 15 projects, or do people have to sign up specifically for the venture?
I think, it depends. And you know what, who could answer this? I think Leo from Reflect, who you've had on the DevGuild last week or a couple of sessions ago, because he has gone through the process. So I think there's a mix of both, right? So there's prizes that are awarded for specific categories, but then there are also these slots. So I think in general, it really depends on the sector. It depends on also the setup of the team, who is eligible or who they decide on will go in what area. I don't think I would generally say that these 15 are the best of them all, because you could also have excellent projects that win in the main prize pool. But I think it's an important difference to keep in mind as a founder, because this would really set you up for a career within the Solana ecosystem, because you'll get access to the best and most influential people. You'll get all the access to the content machine that Solana, potential retweets from the main Solana handle on Twitter. You will be on the radar of all the angel investors or all the other VCs. So it's really a fast track for anyone looking to build a startup on chain.
That's a very good point. Just to point it out, Leo, if you want to message him about other stuff, he was on one of our DevGuilds. I just linked his X, so you can directly message him. He specifically told me that you can message him, so feel free to do so.
Very kind of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like we do it all the time. I see people from different space where they say that they can just contact them regardless of what the matter is. Like, of course, it has to be somewhat within a good space, but at least you have the opportunity to contact them, which is great. So definitely take the opportunity. And as you said, Patricia, like definitely those hackathons are meant to build startups. And if you have the mindset of creating a startup after the hackathon, you are most likely to succeed. Is that right?
100%. I think I put it somewhere in the, right here. You basically paraphrased the first bullet, right? So it's a startup launchpad. It's not a coding contest. And I put in some little quotes from the jury in this presentation throughout. You can see that they are really looking for people who will continue past the hackathon demo date, right? That's one of the key metrics, that you don't stop building once you have submitted, but they do want to see projects that have an X account that keeps going on, that are actively working on their code, on their GitHub, that are acquiring users, everything you do in a normal startup, right? So judges and investors are looking for long-term builders and not weekend hackers. Very, very important to be present and be visible on Twitter. So also one key advice is for everyone listening, if you want to join this hackathon, or if you want to have a successful project and startup in the Solana ecosystem, you must speak about it on Twitter. Yeah, it's an absolute must. Crypto Twitter is where the action happens. It's where the judges are active. It's part of your submission, actually, to put in your X account. And I would highly encourage everyone to start posting and detailing your progress right now. There are also the weekly 1-minute videos for submission. This is something that's fairly new. They started in the last hackathon doing this. Definitely also a bonus if you do so you can document your progress online and submit the videos. It's not a must, however, at this stage. What you really need is an MVP, though. And I'll go a bit more into detail there in a bit, but what people should be building is something that solves a very, very specific pain for a specific group of people. And ideally, you can show or prove that it works.
And let's say we have participants who are mainly like just developers who never had any experience in marketing or how it looks in the real world, like when you pitch and stuff. What should they do on Twitter?
It's a great point. So when it comes to teams, what I have seen over and over and over again is that either mixed teams perform the best, or teams that are tech savvy, but equally business savvy. It is incredibly hard, if not to say impossible, to win or to place well if you have no business skills, if you cannot pitch, if you have never made a business plan, etc. So there's a variety of options, right? We offer the community and the platform for you to go out and find a co-founder. There are a lot of non-technical people who'd love to join forces with devs, with the people who can code, but then who can help them on the business side. And especially for this, the business side or the pitch side of things is so important because you must submit a pitch video first. Or not first, but you must submit a pitch video as well as your code. However, what happens, the jury members, the first thing they look at is not the code, it's always the pitch, 100% of the time. And, you know, I was so sorry because last time around, some people told me like, oh, they submitted, but the jury didn't even look at their code. But you know what it means? It means that their pitch was just not good. And that's why they were just put on the pile that doesn't go to the next round right after the pitch. So if you are a dev, first of all, it's amazing. Your skills are in demand, but either make sure you find a co-founder who just has this business expertise, or make sure you get it. And we also have help there. We will be working with professional pitch coaches at the Berlin Buildstation, but if you cannot come, reach out to us and we can arrange for an online session. Or, you know, YouTube, the internet is full of resources. Make sure you read up on the non-tech side of things.
Exactly about the Buildstation, do you have some slides later, or should we go into that now?
No, let's go into it now. No, for sure. I don't think I have a slide, but we can open up the Luma. Is that possible? So we can share what is happening at the Buildstation.
Sure. Are you able to share it?
Yes,
with
of course. Of course.
I will set up a code for that.
So Buildstation is something that we do in Berlin to help the builders working with or submitting for Superteam Germany. Let me see.
I just put up the link in the top corner. If it's there, it should be here somewhere. So if you scan this, you will be forwarded to the Luma page where you find all the information, where you can find, oh, there it is. This is what you will see in a nutshell.
Exactly. So basically, it's a free to attend in real life co-working space, but it's also so much more than that, right? So it's really, I would say, where you can go to get this extra push to be successful. All our mentors are there. We have a bunch of technical as well as non-technical mentors. We have venture capitalists that are in our network that will be there to support you on your pitches, to also scout for investment opportunities. Obviously, we have big sponsors, so we're working with staking facilities and Arcium for this Buildstation, who will also be there. Both of them, by the way, also investing in startups. Did I say it's fully catered? Yeah, we're offering lunch and dinner for our builders, which is not only nice because you get something to eat, but it's nice because it's a way to also have a meal and connect with everyone else who is there. And you'll see there's so much to learn from fellow builders. We have a bunch of people who have joined in several hackathons. We have a couple of experienced founders. We have people doing this for the first time. And it's just a very nice and pleasant community atmosphere to all work alongside each other. Let me see what I forgot. Exclusive evening events. And then, of course, on the 31st is our big demo day. Mike, you ran the show last time when it came to presenting, because we're doing hackathons twice a year. For those of you who are new here, how was demo day for you?
Well, for me, since I was sort of managing all the pitches, it's actually wasn't chaotic as people might think, because we structured it pretty well. And how it looks like, let's say you're a hacker and you finish the whole 2 weeks with us in Berlin, then you will get ready for the pitching day. And how it looks like, you have a schedule, you know when you will pitch, and then you have, I think, between 2 to 3 minutes like strict time where you have to present what you've done in the past 2 months in order to convince the audience or the jury in this case from your product. So this would be like one of the most important days to actually attend and important for the whole team, because this is what the local judges see. And speaking about local judges, what's the difference between like pitching on the demo day and submitting? Like who sees what?
Yeah, it's a great question. All right, so everyone who is joining, please submit to both, right? You're only winning if you're submitting to both. So there are two things. First, there's the Colosseum Global Hackathon, meaning the entire world can join or can participate. We have a global jury, and this is where the $2.5 million in prize money sit. But of course, it's also hella competitive because, you know, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest hackathon in the world, with thousands of applications. And, we in Germany have fared extremely well. We had 6 winners at the last one, which is amazing. But of course, it's competitive. However, we are also doing a local demo day on the 31st of October, taking place in Berlin, only for builders submitting for Germany, right? The requirements are you need to be there in person. You do not need to be German or speak German even. This is just something that, you know, we are Superteam Germany. But you must submit on Superteam Earn. And then you are eligible for 18,000 US dollars of prizes this year. We have three big partners, which is Börse Stuttgart, which you might know, Börse Stuttgart Digital. The other one is Light Protocol. And then the third one is none other than Mansory. So Mansory, and Mike, actually, you know them better than I do. Huh? Maybe you should explain.
Yes, sure. In the meantime, I put down the link for the
awesome
page. If you can also show it in the meantime. I don't know if it's possible there.
Yeah, sure. Let me open it here.
Because now what's shown is the link for the Luma, which is joining us at the Buildstation, which is the 2 weeks. And then exactly, Superteam Earn, this would be the link right now on the screen where you can submit to our local tracks. So somewhere there should be our local tracks as well. Yes.
Here you see Börse Stuttgart, 10,000 USDC. View all. Here we go.
Exactly. So these are all the tracks that you can submit to technically. But for us personally, if you are in Germany and pitch on demo day, you are eligible to join, for example, here, this Mansory track. And yeah, because you mentioned it, Mansory is it's a fun company, I would say, that we have as a sponsor, because they are like buying supercars and tune them. Probably some of you from the audience know what they are doing. It's like Brabus is doing for Mercedes. They are doing it for like Lamborghinis and different cars. So they are targeting already the rich people. Maybe they know that starting a startup will lead to some great success. So we're very thrilled to have them as well.
Being at Buildstation for sure is a great path to being a future millionaire. Incredible success and a garage full of your own Mansory cars, I would say. So we are incredibly happy to have Mansory as a sponsor. We were in discussions about them bringing a supercar to Buildstation. Sadly, this time around it will not be possible, but we will, still talking. Maybe next time around for another event we can do this. In the meantime, we'll have the prices in USDC. They do have a token on Solana, actually. So if you guys are interested, you should also check it out. They also do quite a bunch of token holder events. So if you have the Mansory Solana token or token on Solana, you get access to, I'm not sure what exactly they're doing, but holders events, merch, benefits, and things along these lines. All right.
Before we move on, we were talking about the Buildstation. And can you just walk me through like how the day-to-day activity would be? Like if I'm a hacker and I have some friends who would join me on building my next startup, what would the day look like from morning till evening?
Absolutely. So it's very important that if you want to come to Buildstation that you apply, because we have limited spots, right? So the Luma that we just put on, please make sure you go there. Please make sure to apply. This also helps us to manage space, to manage catering, etc. And then what happens is it's open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And during that time, you can find everything you need to work and be successful is a big word, but basically to be focused and be enabled to really work on your hackathon project. And by this, I mean, first of all, you have the professional work setup, right? So there is workstations, you have screens, you have mouse pads, you have even desks that are adjustable, you can put up or down. So really a professional setup in a big open co-working space. All the infrastructure is there, there's coffee machines, all the drinks are on us. And I did mention the catering as well. But then what happens is we also have our mentors there. So a lot of the experienced Superteam members are mentoring, either on the tech side or on the business side. We also have VCs there. And depending on the day, we will either have office hours, builders can book into, or we will have a short workshop. And that might be a pitch workshop, that might be a workshop by a technical service provider if they're short and if they are enabling founders to do better. And then most of the time in the evening, we have dinner, we also talk, hang out together, have a drink, connect, speak. So it's really co-working, almost on steroids, I'd say, because it's co-working in a very intense and cool, enabling environment. And I think everyone who came to Buildstation last time around loved it and almost didn't leave in the evenings. To our dismay, Mike and I were staffing it sometimes, and would have liked to go home. But for builders, it was really a very, very conducive environment that they love to take advantage of for these intense 12 final day sprints towards the end of the hackathon. So would really encourage everyone to come to Berlin. If you don't live in Berlin, maybe you have friends at whose place you can crash, because this is really the final enabler and factor that will help you to submit a great project.
Exactly, very, very great words, because let's compare a group of people who are coming to Buildstation and some people who are working remotely. Let's say students in Aachen. Of course, not everybody is able to join, but let's just compare the differences. So a person who is working remotely, they might just wake up and go to their laptop and start programming or working on their pitch deck. Now, when they would struggle, they would maybe either look up online or try to contact somebody, which might take some time, right? But now if you have the same people in Berlin and for example, somebody is knowledgeable in creating smart contracts, then and they have a problem while coding, they can just directly go to the person in the best case, or make up a meeting and then clarify the problems there, which would make your progress faster and make you succeed early on. And this would be for in my experience the highest difference there, because if there is help, you should take it, and it will help you accelerate faster and get to your goal where you want to be earlier. And not only this, but also the motivation aspect that you mentioned. Most of people that I know are not able to perform that well the whole day or a couple weeks in a row if they're all by themselves. And in Buildstation, this won't be the case. We usually always have a full house, people programming or working on their pitch deck or whatever it is, working on their marketing and stuff. So you will always have people working, which will motivate yourself. So I can also just recommend.
For sure. Motivation is actually a big factor. We've spoken about so much else, but also the fun part, let's not forget, because You know, this area of work or also this industry can feel very solitary because a lot of people just work from home and are just remotely distributed across the world, right? Actually, most people who are even working in Web3 that I know in Berlin do not have teams here, in the sense of their teams are in the US and Asia, I don't know, just across the world. And now coming together with peers, with friends potentially, or future friends in such a space for 2 weeks is also just really a lot of fun and just makes this a lot cooler. People go out in the evenings afterwards, people go out running together, there's sports. Obviously, I've mentioned the lunches, the dinners. It's also just a really nice thing. It's a nice experience.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. I think everybody who has the opportunity now is even more convinced to join. So glad to hear that.
I hope so. Would love to see as many of you as possible there working on your projects. Cool. Should we go back to the first presentation that I had?
Yes, sure. I will put
All right. Here we go. This was actually created by my colleague Cap from the UK, and he put together just a couple bullets on what are the requirements if you want to join and you don't have a lot of time, or you do a minimum kind of level of effort, an average application, and then a good one is on my next slide. So really, if you just want to test the waters and you're like, oh, maybe I'm in the middle of my studies, exams are coming up, like this sounds interesting, but I'm not ready to fully commit to spending 2 weeks in Berlin and like getting so immersed in this, you know what? You should still join. It's completely free and gain the experience. Because best case, you win something. Worst case, nothing. You always learn. And the minimum requirements really are not that much. You do need a pitch deck with a presentation video. So the pitch deck is narrated by one person from the team. So you have to send a video submission there, basically just recording your screen. You have to post your GitHub, and it literally takes 5 minutes to sign up and submit. Yeah, it's the bare minimum. If you are super busy but would still like to dip your toes into the water, try doing this. Average application is you have a technical demo video showing the product in action. So not just the link to a GitHub, but you actually demo the product, and you have a working product also, which is the first step. But now coming to the best applications, and this is of course what we strive to have in Superteam Germany, and what we're here for to help you. Let me not go into too much depth here because I have a couple slides with the most important points, but everyone who is really going in it or joining to win, read through this and go through the presentation that I've shared here. Let's start with the team. We've spoken about it earlier. Try not to fly solo because the jury, as well as the investors, are really looking for a balanced skill set. So very important here with Solana is again that you have this one founder or one team member that has the CEO mindset. And down here you see a quote by Matti. Matti is the founder of Colosseum, and he once said that every winning team had someone obsessed with delivery and pushing the product out of the door. Yeah. So someone who is loving what they're doing, who is obsessed, and that way also proves founder market fit, which is maybe a term you've heard before, which is incredibly important for this type of thing. Okay, this one here, I mean, I hope most of you have heard it before, but try to really solve a problem, solve a pain point that some level of target audience, some niche group that someone somewhere has, right? Don't solve an imaginary problem, and make sure that you also validate the pain. Now you see it here in my second bullet point. talk to 5 users, post in Discord, run a quick poll on Twitter, like make sure people are actually not happy with a specific point, you know. Let's see if we find a good example. I mean, we spoke about Leo and Reflect a lot, and maybe listeners here will remember, but he brought on these yield-bearing stablecoins, right? And that is, you know, people maybe who used to have stables were wondering how they can get the best yield on this and how they can get this across stables. I think he is implementing several currencies now. Is that correct? You probably know better.
I just know that he's like currently in the, I think they're even live and introducing like new companies there. Usually how it works is they have a delta neutral position where they are longing and shorting at the same time, or like buying and shorting, which then puts like an average of, I don't know the specific percentage, but I think up to 10% yield. It's like similar what different coins do also on Ethereum, but now on Solana in a different way. Of course, technically it's different, but what he saw, like he saw an opportunity of taking a product and just putting it on Solana that has like similar functionalities as was done before, but now to the Solana community. So even if there is like something you think of missing in Solana, you can definitely bridge it from other blockchains, but also like introducing something completely new.
Absolutely.
And what I wanted to come back to, like 2 slides before this one, we were talking about the team size. If we say more than 2 people, what do you think would be the most optimal size of a team? And what should the skill sets be?
Hard to say. I would say solo founders have it harder. At the same time, you know, I've also seen people founding solo and then raising money and just hiring a really great team. So never say never. There's really not one road that leads to, you know, all the fame and glory. But here, I think in general, it is hard if you do everything by yourself. It is hard to have all these skill sets. Yeah. I think what is extremely important to start with, the minimum would be one person who does the tech, one person who does the business side. Yeah. So one person develops, and then the other person does the pitch deck, writes the business plan, presents everything in a way that makes sense, does the financial forecasting, does the valuation, everything you need, you know, in the startup process. If you want to go one step further, you have someone who is working on acquiring users, on doing business development and marketing, because that is also, I mean, I was in the jury of a bunch of these things, startup competitions, hackathons. I angel invest myself, and the one thing that I always look for is traction. So is there some sort of proof that people out there want what this team is building? And that could have so many different forms. And even if you are pre-launch, there are so many ways to show traction, right? Do you have a waiting list of people that signed up? Maybe a couple thousand people, like, cannot wait until this project is launched and they've given you their email address. That's a massive sign. You know, as an investor, I'm like, hell yeah, like this minimizes my risks to lose all my money that I would invest in them, because somehow it's a sign that there is a market later. How else can you show traction? Well, a big social media following, if it's real and authentic, means people care about what you're building. You can also show me maybe a Telegram group that you made with people that are testing your product, with people that are engaged, with people that are your first beta users. All of this to demonstrate traction and the user acquisition pipeline that you're building early. So to come back to your question, if you have the person who has this skill set, that would be a perfect trio, in my opinion.
Yeah, specifically, I think traction is a very important point. Usually it's hard to have traction in the startups or in the hackathon stage, but if you have it, it's always extremely great. Like if you think about you have already an existing product or a mid-stage startup where you have a product, you have traction, and if you would want to exit out of the startup eventually, then what investors look into is if you really have traction and how important it is to people having it, which you mentioned as well. Like I think on the next slide, it's also shown if people would care if yes, exactly. Ask yourself, if we shut this down tomorrow, would someone miss it? And this is important to investors. And if it's important to investors, it will be important to judges. This is basically what I can also tell you, that think of it as if you would pitch your product not to judges, but to investors or to VCs.
Because judges, in this case, they are all investors. Yeah, they all angel invest. A lot of them come from the VC space. And Colosseum itself is a big venture, has a big venture capital arm that are looking for their next investments. All right. This slide, I think, is obvious. Do figure this out before you start writing code. Make sure you understand the big picture of what you're building, right? What is your elevator pitch, problem statement, opportunity, and solution? Oh yeah, and this one. I cannot put enough emphasis on this one. Yeah, Mike, we have just supported, or not supported, we've just joined another hackathon and done a Solana track in there, and realized that a lot of people submitted solutions that had absolutely nothing to do with Solana, and that a lot of them, I would say, you don't even need the blockchain. Yeah, so please create something that actually either has the Opus factor to it, only possible on Solana, but somehow embrace that we are in a tech hackathon. This is a blockchain competition. We are looking for projects that bring volume on chain, that bring transactions on chain, that bring new TVL on chain. So yes, it is very commendable if you're going super blue ocean and if you're doing something that hasn't been done before, but make sure you do need Solana for this. If this is something random Web2 related startup, then why would you need to bring it on chain? Yeah, just launching a token is not enough. Is really not enough.
Exactly. Like if you are having an idea where you want a product, but it doesn't have to do or doesn't need blockchain, but you just put it in there either ways, judges will notice it most likely. They have lots of experience in the space. And if blockchain is not needed, better don't use it. So specifically for this hackathon, think of something, or if you have something, it's always good to have Solana as the backbone of your product, like something that couldn't be done without the blockchain aspect.
Yeah, payments, DeFi, trading. In the appendix of this presentation, there is a link to ideas, and not only to ideas. Mike, this year, Colosseum even published a blog post on solutions they would love to see built for the hackathon. I don't know if we can pull it up fast enough now, but I would really encourage everyone to check it out, because they literally gave you things they would love to see built and they would love to see turned into a startup.
Oh yeah, and we have this ideas page. I think this is what you meant by linked down below, right? This Solana ideas page.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly, yeah, I see it.
All right, then go to market matters, no users, no traction. So everyone, check out the quote first before reading all the bullet points. The quote down there, Matti again, the Colosseum guy, teams that didn't talk to users lost. It's that simple. That's it, huh? Because how many hackathon projects have you seen that are completely focused, completely in their own world, completely focused on writing amazing code, and then they somehow scramble to make a little pitch deck and submit it, but have they tested anything with anyone? No, and that is probably the most well spread mistake or thing that people should do differently that I see there. is that you completely build in isolation. You have no idea if the market out there wants or needs what you're doing.
That's a great point, and what I can just encourage you to do if you find some time. There are two great books. They're pretty small, like pretty thin, I think just like 30 pages, written about testing with humans, like that's the name, and talking to humans. And this shows you the perspective of startups who were talking to humans and some who didn't, and like testing fast, like in the early stages before developing anything is so crucial, because of course you will lose some time of testing with people and like seeing what their need is, but this time will save you so many days or weeks of coding if you code in the wrong direction. So like running in the wrong direction is still like not running at all, but in a completely different way. So testing, if you can do it in the early stage. Don't test with family or friends. Test with people who you don't know, or if you don't know anyone you could, then definitely at first start with friends and then move on to people you don't know. And this is actually the best way. When you join the Buildstation, you probably will have people you've never talked to, and they are very open to talking to each other. So you could start there for an example.
100%. And I would even say better you test it with 5 friends than to not test it at all. Exactly.
So again, if you have time, testing with humans and talking to humans, those are two great thin books to read on one day.
Cool. Need to put this in the show notes, I guess, in the description down below as well. All right. And then I think, okay, so for the reminder of this presentation, there are a couple startups that are singled out, and these are the previous winners of previous Solana Colosseum hackathons. We won't go through every one of them, but I think it is a cool thing if you look at who has won, you do start to see patterns, right? You do start to see like, oh, what kind of problems did they solve? What kind of niches were they in? What made them special, or what, set them apart to the jury? And there is a pattern for sure, right? Reflect is one of them who won the great championship. Supersize is another one that you can check out. Then Windfall won in the Radar Hackathon, which was 2 hackathons ago. Again, a project in the DeFi space who had, which is quite insane, a pre-launch waitlist of 20,000 users. And that, is also what I was talking about earlier. As an investor, that does validate that there is demand for this. That does validate that once they launch, there will be people there waiting, happy, using this, versus just launching into a void and hoping someone will find you. Meshmap, a couple others, you can check them out if you're interested. And yeah, I did want to put this one in. If you are now convinced you would love to join this hackathon, this is what you need to do. And Mike, I'm sure there's also other things you would recommend, but for me, these were the 5 important steps. Sign up on Colosseum, put Germany as a country. Make sure you click also through the button where it says join the Cypherpunk hackathon, because only then are you in, and they inform you about all the deadlines, etc. Apply for the Berlin Buildstation 20 to 30th of October to get this extra push that we've spoken about. Come to the local demo day, 31st of October. Börse Stuttgart, Mansory, and Light Protocol give out 18,000 in prizes. And by the way, last time around, we had Commerzbank and Jägermeister, so the drinks, the alcohol brand, as partners. And Commerzbank now just invited 2 of the startups they met at Demo Day to their internal Demo Day event with investors. So there are these collaborations and synergies way beyond what you might experience on this day or in as part of this hackathon. The exposure is real and it works.
Exactly. One thing that I wanted to ask, because we know that you get some opportunities to work on your product after the hackathon through Colosseum, but how can Superteam Germany help me when I, for example, succeed, like have a second or third place somewhere in Colosseum and now want to accelerate? Can Superteam Germany help me out finding even VCs if I don't have the opportunity through Colosseum?
Yeah, my God, my favorite question. Yes, this is our bread and butter, right? So I think after the hackathon, the real fun starts, and that's working with us. And we are doing whatever we can to give white glove support to our startups. We are doing startup VC dinners that are quite, famous by now. We usually rent out a private room at a really nice location. We fill up the room with startups and investors, no one else. 10 selected startups get to pitch. Everyone meets everyone else. There's open bar. We have a 4-course dinner. It's a really nice setup. And this is just one thing we do to help startups get investment. We also help startups in many other ways. We run content bounties. We give them shout outs on the Superteam Twitter, which is 12,000 people. If you're more in the direction of institutional, we have my own LinkedIn, which has 10,000 followers. So we really also push on the content side. And then finally, the go-to-market is amazing when you work with Superteam. One of the previous winners of the last hackathon called Xelio, they're launching a payment solution, stablecoin payment solution via SMS. Yeah. So, and their first country where they want to launch is Nigeria. So we connected them to the local super team there. They now recruited a team member from Nigeria. They are, I think the founder just came back from Nigeria speaking at their stablecoin summit and event there. They're collaborating closely, and we can make such connections happen with any country in the world where there's a super team, which is 20 right now. So quite an amazing way to accelerate past this hackathon.
Specifically, great to hear that like those startups who, as you mentioned, Xilio, started on in Germany, and they were always on Buildstation. I saw them every single day. So this is a part where you can probably ask the Xilio founders yourself, and they will tell you that one crucial part of accelerating was the Buildstation. So definitely another aspect what should convince you to join us.
Totally. Buildstation, and I think they were so great at really leveraging all the contacts. So I think at Superteam, I got a message from them weekly with an ask for an introduction, which, we gladly give them because this is my job and this is what I love to do. So definitely make use of the network of the resources that also we bring to the table and can help you with within the Solana ecosystem and beyond, and beyond.
Yes, and I think for this, what we can show or should show the people is our link tree, because like one part is here, point 4 is join our Telegram hackathon groups. And if you somehow came across this presentation and do not know the links for this, I just updated the QR code. This is to our link tree where you find our websites, our X accounts, and Telegram and everything that is needed to get in touch with all what's up with Superteam Germany.
Excellent. I think with this, we are at the end of the presentation. Thank you so much. I will show you, if you go 2 slides, like after the thank you slide, we have these key links that I was speaking about earlier. Basically these articles and interviews and also key links where you have the ideas, the product ideas, the FAQ, and so on. So do check them out. And I think with this, we're at the end of this.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you very much for this introduction and this in-depth information about the hackathon. Like we've talked about the hackathon or how to succeed with Leo before, but now we have a different aspect, like from the top level, top view, how to succeed and showing other companies than just Reflect. And I think people have seen great insights now, know what to do in order to succeed in the Solana hackathon. and we heard so much alpha. Usually what I like to ask is if you have any alpha for the audience, but I don't know if there's anything left.
Ooh,
Something.
ooh. What alpha is there that I have not shared yet? I think honestly, the real alpha is use your local super team, use the core team, make us work for you. I think the founders we saw be the most successful are the ones that really were in close contact with us and kept asking us for intros, for credits, for grants, which we give out for whatever they might need. They were harassing you, harassing me, but please do so. Like, we like it, and we're there to help.
Exactly. Again, if there is help that you can just take, really use it. We are there for you. We are there all the time, just for you to succeed. And with
Amazing.
that said, I think everything was said. Again, I will just put up the Buildstation Luma again link there for the last time to join us. And with that said, thank you very much, Patricia, again for this amazing DevGuild. And for the audience, the next DevGuild will be this week, actually. Like currently we have more than one DevGuild each week. And even in Berlin, there is the Ideathon happening on Friday. And just before the Ideathon at 3 p.m. this time, not 7 p.m., but 3 p.m., we will have the next DevGuild. So don't miss it out. And we'll see you then.
Thank you.